Looking for the one-stop shop for all of your mobile pro gaming? Then there's no other place to stop than at the front lawn of the Backbone with their new Backbone Pro controller. Yup, this is the next evolutionary step of Backbone into the more modern features and hardware for your mobile gaming at any level. Whether it's for on your mobile device gaming, be it your iPhone or your iPad, whether it be playing remote play to your PC, to your console, to your Xbox, you can do that with this because now they have stepped it up and included Bluetooth. None of the Backbone controllers previously had Bluetooth. It was all direct connection and that's it. So now this is not only just a mobile controller for your mobile gaming, it is also, or can be, a console controller for your Xbox or PlayStation or even your Switch because of the Bluetooth inclusion with the new device. It has a new hardware build makeup to feel more pro in your hand because the previous controller, where is it? It's right here. The previous controller was a little bit flat and small. Now the handling on this, or the handles where you hold the controller, is more pro and thick to fill in your hand for a more comfort fit and for longer gameplay sessions. You won't cramp up your hands the way I did playing with the older controller after like an hour or so. Once this came out, my jaws dropped and I was like, yes, this is the thing that they needed to keep themselves competitive and to keep them cutting edge and to keep people looking for this. Shout out to Backbone for providing these devices free of charge to check it out and to show it to all my techies and gamers out there looking to get some mobile gaming, console style mobile gaming for your mobile devices, be it your iPad, your iPhone, your laptop. They also sent me their awesome premium Backbone One case here, QR code there to scan to learn more about the Backbone One labs and all of that wonderful stuff. And up front and center, we have our Backbone Pro, techies and gamers. Yup, this is the Pro model, which is to be a particularly big upgrade from the Gen 1 and Gen 2 even. That's right. First and foremost, it looks very different and it has this cool texture and it feels probably just as light as the original Backbone. First things you're gonna notice as soon as you grab this device is it is thicker. Yes, much thicker than that Backbone 1, Gen 2. Now you have this Pro grip. Almost like, wow, this thing really fills your palm here. Nice and thick there. Yes, you can feel the controller now. Oh, wow, this actually opens even wider than the original Backbone one. Spreading them apart, you'll see that the Backbone Pro goes just a little bit further out here on the right. If I line up the left side, you'll see the right side goes out, I don't know, maybe about an inch more than the original Backbone one. The original is about that thick right here. And this is the Backbone Pro thickness. Wow, so you're gonna get yourself a nice grip for all my gamers out there with the big sweaty hands. What else we got going on here? Well, I will tell you that this D-pad right off the rip is nice and spongy, a little bit more tactile than the original one. Bigger thumbsticks here for all my techies and gamers with the big sweaty palms. Woof, they feel so much more sturdy and robust. Wow, ever so slightly bigger thumbsticks there in your face. So okay, but you also get a lot more travel the way you do with a professional Xbox or PlayStation controller. So you have a bigger ball set under there, so that is quite fantastic. Okay, the triggers feel almost the same, a little bit more springy, I would say. Nice left and right buttons. Ooh, I like this. Hear that? It sounds more like an Xbox feedback or Xbox sounding buttons here. And of course, like the Gen 2, you have your magnetic connections here, which probably will slide out for being able to hold devices that are a bit thicker or phones that are a bit thicker or phones with thicker cases. And to put these back on, they are magnetic. So all you have to do is kind of just slide it into place. Easy peasy, right? And it's magnetic, but it's hard to come out even trying to get it out with your finger. So even with a super weird case like this, it still tends to fit quite nice. And this case is pretty bulky with a big metallic bezels on the back and around the edges. USB-C connection, of course, for lagless connection. Your Backbone button for the Backbone One app, right? This will launch your app and will also slide between app and the Backbone One app when you click that button. Your capture button here, screen capturing, recording, that's right, at 1080p 60. On the back, we have some programmable back buttons now that the Backbone didn't have in their previous gen devices. So you can program these two back buttons here to whatever your heart pleases in the Backbone app. Of course, you get your headphone port. You have a USB-C for direct pass-through charging for your phone. That's right, for your devices. And what is this little button we have here? Well, that is your Bluetooth button that you're going to use to connect to devices via Bluetooth. What else do we get in our box? Well, the engineering on this box is also fantastic. Everything about the unpacking or the unboxing of this is premium quality. Okay, let's just take that cover off, and it looks like we get more brackets. Look at the engineering of just the paper of this device, including 2 additional brackets for using your phone with no case. So that's going to make your device even tighter for those who don't want to use a case with their phone. Gives you instructions for mounting the device and the Backbone app QR codes. You can scan that to get your Backbone app immediately in the App Store or Google Play Store. Big play safe safety guide in case you want to decide to try and eat the controller and put it in your mouth. This is not what you're supposed to do with it. See that? There are instructions on how to open your Backbone One device to troubleshoot it for any reason. Remove the batteries. Oh, you can change the batteries out of this device in case you get a defective battery and get a battery replacement. Or if you're a real engineer, you can just install your own super battery in this. Okay, you have a controller input map diagram here in case you wanted to know what button is what. Let's go ahead and take a look at the premium carrying case offered by Backbone. Of course, there will be plenty of third-party cases. It's definitely a hard shell case. It is the same texture and material inside and out. This hard shell kind of egg carton molding you have here, but it is extra hard and feels pretty premium here. Grabbing your controller, you see this is going to fit just like a glove with this device. And it is probably meant to snap the middle piece in place like such. Yep, you squeeze it in and it gets a nice hold on it, so it's not going to come off even if you flip it like such. It won't come out of place because that thing is grabbing it pretty snugly. And once you are on the desktop, right, the desktop of your phone or device, whatever it is, you can actually press the Backbone button here and it'll switch you over to the Backbone app. This is the Backbone app in all of its beauty, designed to make it look completely like a console, the whole console feel for Xbox, PlayStation, maybe even a Switch. And this looks and feels very premium. These thumbsticks, I am just amazed at how much improvement they made. They are no longer Switch type thumbsticks. From here, we can switch and go to any game we'd like that we were playing online or that we have installed. When you hold the Bluetooth button for a few seconds, you're gonna see that the Backbone button will be illuminating blue to let you know it is in pairing mode, and then you can go to your device settings. You can create custom profiles for games that you play, so you can switch the profile based off of button mappings that you want, which is kind of cool. So you can go here and name it. They also have a Backbone emulator beta, so if you click into that, you're gonna see that they do support emulation. So you can upload ROMs and save your game states, pick up where you left off, just like any other emulator. And it looks like the emulators that are supported are Nintendo, NES, Super NES, Game Boy Color, and GBA Game Boy Advance. If you notice on the bottom there, we are also testing the below cores and hope to launch compatibility for them very soon. So expect Nintendo DS, PlayStation 1, and PSP to be coming very soon to the Backbone environment. So at the end of the day, can I recommend the Backbone Pro as a viable option for basically kind of all of your gaming, honestly, because it's not just for mobile gaming. This is an all-in-one Pro controller that can be used for your gaming consoles whether it's direct connection, remote connection, cloud-based gaming, this does it all. Much more expensive than, let's say, an Xbox controller, at least if you're not buying one of those higher end controllers. But the Xbox controller can't do some of the stuff this does, like direct connection. I mean, you kind of can. You gotta clip, get a wire connected to it, but you gotta build sort of a rig to get that to work the same way. And it's not very travel friendly when you do that. This right here is travel friendly, paired with the case right here that I'm supposed to have in my hand, but I don't. Paired with the case right here, you can definitely throw this in your backpack and travel, though I will say that the case is a bit bigger because, well, the controller's a bit bigger. So the pros of the Pro controller is, well, now it feels pro. You got the Pro grip, you got the Pro sticks, no more that little Nintendo Switch stuff, although the Switch 2 is probably just a little bit better than the old Switch 1. You got Bluetooth. Now you can connect to any device, make it a controller for your console, make it a controller for your iPad, your TV, your MacBook, whatever. This is going to be able to connect to all things Bluetooth. It has a bigger span in the middle, so you might be able to fit a bigger tablet here. The buttons themselves is another Pro feature that is a Pro. They feel more console-like, not as big as the Xbox controller buttons or even the letters, but the feel of it, even the sound of it. See, Xbox, Backbone Pro, sounds very similar in nature, and it has that nice clear coating over the top, the way most of those Pro controllers have. And then the final Pro that is really significant to point out, at least from the previous versions, is that you have these programmable additional back buttons here on the Backbone Pro back. What are the cons with this? Well, the price. That can be considered a con because that is a pretty premium price. So save your pennies, but I will tell you that if you do spend that, this will be the last place you go looking for a controller because you're gonna find much more compatibility. The other con is you gotta worry about the subscription if you wanna be a part of the Backbone Plus and unlock a lot of the features that are kind of paywalled behind that subscription. So it's a give or take. Do you need it to really play? No, you don't. But you can still do screen capturing and stuff like that. None of that stuff is going to be a hindrance when using this controller. So that's an added perk if you wanted to get into the Backbone ecosystem. In Twitch streaming, for example, connecting your social media account, that's also another thing you can do with this. So it's kind of the stuff that's behind that paywall, but you don't necessarily need that to be a pro. All right. And I will say that the app is much more refined, much better than a lot of these apps that I'm seeing on some of these other controllers out there in the market. GameSir, I just couldn't stand that app. It was just so buggy and a lot of the features just don't work, and it's like the connectivity and trying to figure out which mode to switch it to, from Switch to iPhone to Android. It just was not seamless. Either way, if you're interested, links are in the description. Grab yourself a Backbone 1 Pro if you'd like. If you happen to have $150 just sitting in the couch crevices, pull it out, get yourself a Backbone, save yourself the headache of getting some of these other remotes and having a problem. And I've returned like 4 or 5 of these already. I can't tell you how many times I bought a controller, tested it out, problems, returned it, bought a controller, tested it out, broke immediately, returned it. I did it like 4 or 5 times. I just said, you know what? I'm just gonna wait.